Hello and welcome to our webinar on Vertex BD 2024, the latest version of our powerful building design software. We are excited to share with you some of the new features and improvements we have implemented in this release and how they can help you to elevate your workflow and collaboration during the design process. Our Vertex BD introduced enhanced IFC4 compatibility, allowing you to export your models and other BIM software applications with more accuracy and detail. You can also optimize your panel transportation and handling with the new 3D panel stacking tool, which lets you plan and visualize panel stacks for efficient logistics. And moreover, you can leverage the power of the standardized communication in construction with the new building collaboration format BCF, which facilitates seamless information exchange among the various stakeholders in your project. But that's not all. We are also proud to announce Vertex Sync, a new cloud service that will be released in spring 2024. Vertex Sync enables you to save and manage your project securely online and collaborate with your team members from anywhere. We hope you are excited as we are about the new Vertex BD and Vertex Sync. In this webinar, we concentrate the new features of the Vertex BD, and we will show you more details and demonstration of these new features and services by videos, pre-recorded videos. In this webinar, presenters are Kimmo Honkanen.
Hello.
Matthew Wood. And my name is Jukka Haho, and I'm hosting this webinar. During the webinar, you can leave your questions in the question box, and at the end of the webinar, we will answer your questions. Thank you for joining us today, and let's get started.
Okay, that was introduction. First, we saw the video about the terminology changes and the new building browser. Then we go to the IFC4 export. It's now supported in 2024, and PCF files and 3D panel stacking. After that, we have framing tools and hot roll and drawing scheduler improvements. And last, we have the video about Vertex Sync cloud service. And after those videos, we have time for comments and questions. So let's start with the videos. Here we go. First video. Vertex BD 2024 has some terminology changes. Vertex BD project is now building. There's also some clarification that save is local and revision is now used in SYK purposes. Let's take a look at a new building browser. In File menu, you will find Open Buildings. Now you can see preview images of the building. You can also edit those preview images from here. You can change the size, like you can see. Now it's bigger. You can take that away. So you only have the data sheet of the building, or you can take data away, so you have only the picture of the building. You can also select fields here in header if you want to take something away, for example these ones, and for example customer. You can see that now it's edited so easily. And you can also check from the show all part if you want to edit and add, for example, template. So you can see which of your buildings are templates. So now you have one more field here. And one good change also, if you have used those submodels, if you click main model, you can see that okay, it's included also with the submodels, with the 6 different submodels. If you click this one, you can see what submodels are included to this main building. This is also supported for smart models and shared models. And you can also click something and add some buildings as a favorite, so you can easily find those what you are mostly working with. You can also do some functions just before opening. Just right click, you can copy building, open the save or edit data card, or you can delete straight from this browser, or remove from favorites. So after that I only have the one. Thank you. Okay, then we have the video about the IFC4. Now the IFC4 export is supported in BD 2024.
Hello, welcome to our video showcasing our IFC improvements within our 2024 version of Vertex BD. Now we have IFC4 exporting fully supported within Vertex BD. When selecting File, then Export and IFC Export, the IFC dialog box will be displayed. We have renewed these dialog boxes for 2024. On the first page, there is now a section whereby you can select what you would like to export. Within here, you can select to export by stories or by object type. On the second tab within the dialog box, we have Settings. Here, you have a variety of different settings options. There are different options as to where the IFC will export, be it in the default location or a custom one. Within this drop-down, we can alter the IFC version to others supported by Vertex BD. And we also have options for property sets and subnet handling located within this tab too. The final tab in the IFC export dialog box is for coordinate settings. Within here, you can set how you would like the model origin to be placed. Let's take a look at exporting an IFC with the default settings. The IFC exports quickly, and once completed, exporting can be found in the project document browser, and from there it's just a right click to open into your chosen IFC viewer. Now it's also possible to create an IFC export from selected objects within Vertex BD. For example, let's take the walls of our project. We select these and right click, and now as you can see, the option to export to IFC is available. When selected, it opens the same dialog box as before, but the selections are locked as you have pre-selected from the model window rather than here within the dialog box. Let's make another by amending the file name on the Settings tab and then hitting Export. Again, with the document browser, we can see the new IFC we've created. Right-clicking here, we can see the IFC properties, including the scheme and what version of Vertex was used to create the IFC, as well as being able to open the IFC as before as well. When you have exported objects, those settings are saved, so you can export again with ease. Simply right-click on the previously exported IFC from within the document browser and select Export Again. This is helpful for instances where you missed something and need to make amendments or wanted to do something differently within the project and require to recreate the IFC. Within our latest version of BD, we also have implemented GUIDs for objects. When you click to select an object and then right-click, you can now select the GUID and author option here. This will open a dialog box showcasing the item's GUID, its IFC GUID, and author information as well as the creator and modifier if applicable. Let's take a look at how you can export separate IFCs from submodels while still at the same time being able to export from your main building model as required. Here we have 6 different submodels as part of the project. If we visit File, Export, and IFC Export, and then navigate to the Settings tab, you will see we now have the option to export submodels as separate models. We select this, which in turn will enable the software to export IFCs for both the main model and our submodels at the same time. Let's take away the terrain and then check the file extension is correct, and with us happy with those, we can hit the export button. Now that has been completed, let's have a look in the document browser at our IFCs. Here we can see we now have one main model IFC and then each of our individual submodel IFCs also. Let's take a look at the main model. As you can see, within Solibri, we have a full IFC of our main model, including the submodels. Let's have a look at one of our submodels IFCs. For example, this one, Module C. And here is our submodel IFC. Let's take a look at our IFC importing feature and what we have changed there. Within File and Import, we select the IFC option and navigate to and select our IFC file. Once selected, the IFC import dialog box is displayed. Within here, we have new options in relation to importing your IFC files into Vertex BD. The first tab pertains to object settings when importing our IFC files, and the second pertains to the placement of IFC files when importing. These are very similar to our new options included when exporting IFC files. Let's import this file with its default settings. As default, 2D objects are set to off. Here, you can see our imported IFC with the default settings. In Vertex BD 2024, we can set visibility to IFC objects. Selecting filters, we can then choose a variety of filter options. In this case, we will have a look at the walls. We select our walls and then right-click and choose the Set Visibility option. Within the dialog box displayed, we select to turn on the visibility for our wall framing within our project's levels and press OK. Now, when we change to the framing model, we can see our visibility changes have been applied and our framing levels are now visible as selected. As well as this, we have also made improvements and changes as to how you can select when you are working on projects with large IFC models or where you have lots of objects within your IFC. Simply select within your model, right-click and then choose the IFC model option. Within here, you can choose the Select option, which will select the IFC model that has your selected part within it. Now, as you can see, the entire IFC model is selected. Again, if we right-click and then select the IFC Model tab and choose Properties, you can within here view the IFC model properties, which show us the version of IFC it was imported as well as toolkit, model, and source information. Here we also have the IFC's name and the option to allow deleting of individual IFC objects. Selecting this option enables the deleting of individual IFC objects from the IFC file as shown. Let's see what happens when we attempt to delete part of an IFC model with that option turned off. Again, we right-click, select IFC model and properties, and then uncheck the previous box. Let's quickly amend our view filters to all again, and now look what happens when we attempt to modify the IFC and delete a section from within the IFC file. As soon as we attempt it, BD will display this error detailing to the user that their action is unavailable due to the IFC properties. With the protection re-enabled, however, we can still right-click and go back into the IFC options and select the whole model, remove the whole model, and also utilize the options to move the IFC model, etc. with no issue.
That was something about the IFC. So more information about the IFC improvements in what's new page. Let's go to the BCF improvement.
Hello, let's take a look at our new BCF building collaboration format functionality within Vertex BD. Firstly, within the Archives tab, you have IFC PCF Manager. Select that. Once selected, a dialog box will open. Within here, select to create a new file. Give the file a name, and once complete, now within the header of the dialog box, you can see the name too, and we're ready to add a new topic. To add a new topic, we simply right-click and select the Add New Topic option. This will transition us to a new window within the dialog box. Within here, we add our new topic as roof color. We then select the type as requested and set it to In Progress and add a description. Within the next section, we can give viewpoints. We select the drop-down here and select the Add New Viewpoint option. We then, utilizing our mouse, zoom out our model slightly and use the Select function to select our entire model. With the model selected, we then hit the V key on our keyboard. With that complete, we can now see the view we have just created in the dialog box. If I wanted to create another one, we would go back to the viewpoint drop-down and select the second option. With that selected, let's say I want to create a view of only the roofs. We select these and then again press the V key from the keyboard. As you can see, now we have two viewpoints. First we created and the one of our roofs. Below the viewpoint section, you can add comments. To do this, we select the plus icon as shown, type out our comment and then select OK. With that now complete, we select the OK at the bottom of the dialog box window, and we are then ready to save the BCF file. By default, this will be saved under our project we are working on, and you can name the save file as required here. If you would like to go back and reopen the file, simply select the drop-down arrow here, and the software has remembered the last one worked on for you to quickly reopen as required. From the same drop-down, you can also create a new one should you wish. Next, we have opened the IFC from within BD from the project document browser. We have opened this within Solibri Viewer. Within the Communications tab, Here you can add a new view presentation. In our case, it's at the bottom here, so we select this BCF file and press open. Once selected, here are the different views including our roof view and our whole project view. Here we add a comment stating red is OK and select enter. We then, within the drop-down here, change the status from in progress to result, and then with that done, we finalize the answer by the report option shown here, filling out the report title and then selecting the save option. From here, let's continue and have a look at the answer report from the point of view of the end user. Within Vertex, we go back to the IFC BCF Manager and select Open File. We then select to open our answer report BCF, and within the dialog box, we right-click the file and select View Topic. Here, the customer can review the report and see that their request to use red is accepted, and thus they can change the status drop-down to closed as shown. Thank you for joining us and showcasing our new BCF building collaboration format functionality within Vertex BD.
Okay, and then we have new feature 3D panel stacking. Let's go to look at that.
Hello, within Vertex BD 2024, we have some new functionality for 3D panel stacking, so let's take a look. Within the main ribbon and the Output tab, we now have 3D panel stacking available. Let's first visit the stack settings. Within the stack settings dialog box, there are some common settings for amending the layout when editing the stacks within the model view. You can amend the distance between the stacks, the distance between stack rows, the direction and number of stacks, and you also have the checkbox option to update items after moving them available here. Below that, we have default presentation options here. We recommend you use the box option as it's the quickest way and is good for creating and editing stacks. Below that option, we have the stacking principle option, which allows you to alter between the area, length, and width. For this example, we will use area. Let's have a look at creating stacks. First, within the 3D panel stacking section of the Output tab, we select the Edit Stack Content option. This will then load up the Modify Stack Content dialog box. Within here, you can select all should you wish to, but do you really want to select all? Maybe you'd just like to select the wall panels. Selecting based on type is very easy, and you can filter through should you only want to select specifics from your project. For this example, let's take the external walls from the ground floor. With those selected, we right-click and choose Create Stacks. Now the Stack Properties window will be displayed. Within here, we select to copy stack values from the library. Within here we have the default stack options, so we will select this one. Once selected, BD will go back to the Stack Properties window. Here we will amend the net dimensions width slightly, and we'll also take the dimensions based on content option. This option is good for when you don't have standard packages. Now, with that completed, let's do the same with our first floor walls. Again, we select these in the Modify Stack Content dialog box, right-click, Create Stack, and we will repeat the process with the same values as before. So we select the Copy Values option as shown here and press OK. We also need to be able to distinguish between our stacks. For example, is the stack from the same floor or a different? Is the stack the same stack type, etc. Due to this, you can amend the stack markings. This can be done as shown by floor, by type, or by stack. By floor, you have these default colorways, but you can customize these to suit by simply double-clicking. For this example, we'll stick with the defaults. We have added those panels into the framing model, and so as you can see, they now have taken the colours as per our prior selections for our stacks. From the document browser, let's select to edit the stacks in Model option as shown. Here, as you can see, the stacks are the same colours. We have the first floor panels here and the ground floor panels here. It's always very important that you have stacked all panels, so let's edit a few of the panels that we have here within this project. Let's take this panel from stack 2, E1. We will take this panel away from stack 2 and press OK. We have our marking colours for this purpose. It makes it easy for you to check whether or not those panels are within a certain stack. Let's activate this one. As you can see, we haven't stacked those horizontal panels and trusses yet, hence they show as red. But as you can see, in terms of our ground floor walls, now this panel is missing, and thus it's also showing red. This is the one we just amended and removed from the stack. Let's get rid of the red and correct our missing panel. Okay, so with that completed and all now done, all our stacks are now ready. Let's take a look at editing these. The green box around the panel shows us that this stack is editable, so you are able to update the size according to the panels you have stacked within. But this one with the blue box is a standard fixed size stack, and you cannot change it by the panel size. Let's have a look at how we can edit this one. If we want to move this panel, we have a few different means of doing so. We can right click, select and move it to our desired location. We can also select the panel, and as you can see, there are grip points at the edges. If we select this grip point, as you can see, it goes green. We then can select a second panel, so we will select this one and we will choose this grip point here. As you can see, once selected, it moves the first panel and connects it to the second we selected. We then right click and select the update size option, which updates the stack accordingly. You can also use these arrows here to rotate the panel within the stack as needed, or utilize the other arrows, if needed, to move the panel along horizontally and vertically as required. With those changes made, the stack is now amended and ready. As you saw already when you click the panel, you can see the tip text. This shows basic dimensions and IDs from the panel. It is also possible to make different kinds of presentations from the stack view, like by right-clicking and changing to layer. Now this is set according to layer. This enables you to see their shape a bit better. You can also change it to parts, but presenting by box is ideal for most use cases. You can also amend the presentation of individual stacks if you require. You can do this by amending the individual stack. To do this, edit the stack from the document browser. Then right-click and select Presentation, and within here you can change the presentation from box to layers or parts. In our example, we'll change the presentation to layers and then save. Now, when we go back to the stack view, you can see that the amended stack has changed and it's now presented as layers over the box format. Don't forget to make sure you're happy with all the changes, and once you are, select Mark Elements in Stack as shown and then hit the OK button. You always have more space available should you need to add something to your project's packages. For example, take this number 8 stack. There is space within here, so if we select the stack, right-click and choose Create Space for Accessories, a dialog box will open whereby we can add in the width, height, length, etc. for our space for accessories, and we can then apply this to within our number 8 panel stack. Now that is placed, we have the space reserved ready for any accessories we may want to add. Now the stacking is completed and ready, so we must go on to making documentation for our stacks. Here within our Output tab, we select the 3D panel stacking section and hit the Create Drawings option from the drop-down menu. We select the 3D View Drawing option and hit the OK button. BD then creates our drawings from our previously created and amended panel stacks, taking the information from each stack. Within the stack drawing, you will have basic information about the stack itself, what the building is named, who the customer is, a list of the panels, dimensions and weights, as well as other information about the stack. Stack drawings are then available within the document browser. Within here, there are stacking and stack drawings, and you can select, open, and print those out from here. We also have function to make reports from the stacks. Let's take a look at the stack report. This is available within the Output tab and Excel lists. Within here, you can create stack reports as required. These have the basic information about each stack. The report includes the ID and the dimensions, how many panels you have in the stack, and their value of the dimensions. Let's create also the content of the stack report. This report showcases to us the stat-by-stat list of panels which make up each individual stack. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, now it's Matt, your turn. Go ahead, please. I will download the video.
Okay, please begin the video, Yuka. Thank you. So let's take a look at some new framing tool options. First, I'll take this sheathing layer and look at its framing tool. And we're using the common sheathing tool. We look at this other rules we can find now. We have mount, so we can set that to loose mount or manually. So let's set it to loose. And we have these new opening routings. So let's choose full cover, no opening routing. Okay. Then I'm going to generate the parts to this layer again, and the openings have been ignored. And if I take the sheet, mount has been set automatically to loose. Let's go to here. We have some new framing accessories. We're going to look at first at hatches. So hatch or shaft. Let's take a shaft. So I can pick the panel. It's placed like a window, so by its header height. And then we just place it where we want it, like that. And then we can regenerate these panel parts. And we see it gets the framing. The good thing about these hatches and shafts is that it's not using the framing tool openings page. So you have one header free now if you start to use those, if you were using the window bends before. The framing for these is coming from the details file. Okay, let's go on the back here. Let's get some hold downs. So we have anchors, and these hold down anchors have been improved. So let's take the standard anchor first. You can position it by the front or back, the front being the open lip side on a C section. So I can pick the stud and pick that stud and then say OK. See, now we gotta hold down here and an upside down one here. You can now also, with these hold downs, you can add holes to this stud. So I'm going to use a custom hold down that I created. Let's pick this stud here. Okay. You see now I pick the stud, I've got some bolt holes automatically. So if we take a quick look in the library, my custom component macros, hold downs, there is a new bolt parameters page where you can define the bolt, what library that is in, and then the distances. Also on the framing accessories, we have a new lifting point, a new single lifting point. So I just pick this panel. There is just one in the library at the minute. So it works like a free anchor. And like a lifting eye. Okay, and it creates a hole to the top plate. Okay, let's save that. Let's look at our trusses. So let me go to the roof architectural. I've drawn some trusses already. And you see that they're set on the wall top plate. And also see that I have drawn a soffit underneath those trusses at the eaves on both sides. Here. So the truss framing tool now supports raised and lowered floors and ceilings, and you can also pick these soffits now as well. So I'm going to pick one truss and just update the bottom shape. I can pick that soffit and this soffit. Okay, and you see now it is lowered that truss end. So let's do generate parts. Then we can click the framing, and you can see here, look, it's now giving us that kind of detail on both ends. Okay. Okay, let's look next at some hot roll detailing. So I'm going to go to this other project for a moment, into the 3D, and first we can add some a new L plate, and there's this new option for offsetting the bolts from the center. Okay, then here we can add a new corner faceplate. And this has been updated so that you can now include a thermal break and save that connection to the library. Then there's a new connection here, column to corner beams. If I pick this column, and then the beam ends. Okay, I'm going to create me a plate like this. Just like that. And you can, for example, mirror the bolts like that. Move the bolts down. Let's shorten these. Okay. Then we also have a new dedicated SHS to PFC or UB. So we can pick that beam and then that column. Okay. Delete the old connection like that. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the drawing register. So back to here. Here is the drawing register on the output tab, and it's a tool to send all active drawings, active being having an X in this column, to send active drawings to an Excel spreadsheet now with the revisions. So let's take this first elevations, and I'm going to add a row. That's going to be on the ground floor, revision A. Let's make that today's date by me in initial revision, and I can add also master revisions if I like. So I've got revision B here. Make this also on the ground floor. Active means it appears on a revision table on the drawing sheet, and then I can copy these to other drawing sheets automatically now. So I want to take both of these revisions, and let's take elevation 150 and ground floor plan. Okay. Now if I look at these have also got the same revisions. Let's say for this A3 offer, I'm going to add a revision for this one, and I'll put the revision at being, for example, 28. Okay, give it some data. Okay, so I've got a couple of drawings with couple of revisions, but not all drawings have the same revisions on them. I can say OK, and I want to export this to Excel. And you see here now it's similar to the Excel list reports, and we can see here it's given some revisions, and it's if some dates don't have a revision, it carries it through to the latest revision date, which was this A3 offer. Okay, I'll save that. Okay, let's go back into here. We don't have any panel drawings in this list because we haven't created any. So let's take, say, this panel for example. Create panel drawing 4. So I can add a revision onto here. Let's add a row. There's also the ground floor. Let's revision A. Okay. Then let's close and save this. We go back to the output tab. We can find here now our panel drawings can now be exported onto this Excel sheet. So we can just make that active, and we can manage the panel drawings here as well, all in one single location. Let's say OK, Excel again, over the old one, and I find it. Here we go. That got the date we put on it, and it carried it through. You also have some extra tools here, so you can quickly update all active sheets to use the master revisions. Let's say OK. If you use those master revisions, then it's going to ignore these revisions here and just take them when you have revision tables on your drawing sheets, panel drawings. It populates it using this database instead. Thank you. Let's just do that. Let's see if we can see a difference. Okay. That's now the latest one. Thank you.
Okay, and then there was the set of the improvements and new features what we saw recently, and next video will show and shortly introduce the Vertex Sync service, which will be launched in next spring. Next spring.
In construction projects, files circulate among different teams and platforms, making collaboration challenging. The difficulty of finding the latest 3D models, drawings, or documents impacts our client's bottom line. This is why we developed Vertex Sync. Vertex Sync is designed to be the brain of your construction project. Vertex Sync is a cloud-based project collaboration and documentation platform for professionals. Now you can put all your valuable project data into one secure place. In Vertex Sync, you choose who can access and upload not only 3D models and documents, but all critical project files without fear of ever losing them. Vertex Sync allows you to easily find and organize files, manage access, and share information. Vertex Sync is everything you need to view, share, stay up to date, and collaborate on projects in one place. You can connect with your team using Vertex Sync immediately. Find out more on our website.
Okay, now we have went through those presentations, and now it's time for questions. There's at the moment a couple of those. But first question, and you still have time to add them questions there to question dialogue. So if you like to, there's a question that are you working on Vertex engineering improvements as well? Would you like Kimmo to answer, or should I?
You can answer.
Yeah. So we have done some improvements related to trust engineering and mainly for the Australian market, and there has been also done some improvements to so-called practical engineering as well, which is related to walls. I think that's only using there at the moment in Australian market. Another question was that is there a possibility that I can get a recording of these videos from the webinars, especially for 3D stacking order? I think these videos are already there in our webpage. Am I right, Kimmo?
No. Hopefully in this week when we have the videos. This was first for you, and after that we put those to the What's New page. So, and the recordings from this webinar, if you have registered to this webinar, you always get the recording link.
And you can get familiar with this, all the new features in our webpage. So the address is over there. So it's kpen.vertex.fi. And from there you can find the PD and what's new. And then the distribution, we start to deliver this Vertex BD, this new version in February, 2nd of February. So it's starting very soon. And there's also available more information about the sync. If you like to, you can go to the vertexcat.com and /pd/sync to find the more information related to sync. And then there was one question is that is there any improvements for the piping tool, like having more pipe types and dimensions? I think you can answer, Kim, for that question.
If it's about the questions about the basic piping library, at the moment, no any improvements for that side. So one improvement is done when you have used Vertex pipe design. You can attach those punches to the according those pipelines to the structure, so it helps you to make the punches to the panels. But no any in this year, no any improvements to the piping design.
And then
But thanks about the feedback, so we can put it to the list. So
yeah. And then there was a question about that is the Vertex Sync an additional subscription package? Yeah, it is the additional service, and so it will be sold as a subscription, and more and detailed information is coming about this sync service during next 3 months.
about the PCF, if you have IFC option, you get the PCF files or functionalities, and if you have Pro version of PD, you get this 3D panel stacking.
And then there's a question for the Matt, that are those steel connections working with the all steel profiles now?
Leo raised a question to the help desk earlier this week, which we have to check. So I will check it for him.
Then there was the for small office settings where 2 and 3 people are working. Can you work on the same model through the cloud-based system? Vertex PD features are as they are in that level. What we have published in 2023 version, and we have done some improvements in this new version related to smart and shared models. And those are the ways to work, and also submodels can be used. Those are the ways to work so that you are able to work with the multiple users in one building model. So that with those features, you can have more than one working with the same building. So simultaneous possibility to design the same house at the same time we don't have. Then there was the question that will sync allow tracking of the technical queries. How will clients get access? The client will get access. There's a couple of different ways. For the stakeholders, ideas that maybe if they need to see the most of the thing there in the sync, of course there are like a permission management system available. It's better to have a subscription for those and invite them to your organization. And then those clients, what you don't like to be the part of the organization, it's possible to use this kind of anonymous links for the single files or single objects there. Is the option for the imported IFC in section cuts? Let's see. I need to a little bit increase the size of my question box to be able to see. So is there an option to see the imported IFC in section cuts? Can you see the geometry of the imported IFC model in sections? I think you can.
It should be available. It should be available, but be sure that the model IFC model is in right vertex model. Is it architectural or framing or where you make the section? So
yeah. Then there's the one comment. Okay, Simran Sain, if you have more interested in about this trust engineering and functionalities of it, you can contact us to the service desk as well. Then there was the question that can the IFC model be made visible in the both framing and architectural views? I think it was shown in the video already. It's possible to change the visibility of the objects so that they are visible in both.
Yeah, it's now available. Yeah, in the new version. Yeah.
Okay, I think that was all the questions we had this time. Thank you about being so active and thank you that you were participating in our webinar today. Have a nice evening, and what guys would like to say something?
Have a nice day and take care of you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.